Imagine your boss builds a 90-foot-tall gold statue of himself and then sends out a decree to every single person in the entire country. When you hear the music play, you bow down, and if you don't, you get thrown into a furnace, not a fire. A furnace. This is one of the most jaw-dropping stories in the entire Bible. And I promise you, it hits different when you hear the whole thing. Let's get into it. So here's what's going on. We're in ancient Babylon, one of the most powerful empires in the history of the world. The king's name is Nebuchadnezzar. And this guy is not someone you want to cross. He has just built an enormous gold statue, 90 feet tall, and he has gathered every official, every leader, every important person in his entire kingdom for the dedication ceremony. His command, recorded in Daniel chapter 3, was simple. When you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipe, and all kinds of music, you must fall down and worship the image of gold. Whoever does not fall down and worship will immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace. No debate, no exceptions. Bow or burn. And when the music played, everyone bowed, every single person except three. Their names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These were three young Jewish men, exiles from Jerusalem, who had been brought to Babylon to serve in the king's court. They were smart, capable, respected, and when that music played, they stayed standing. Someone ran straight to the king and told him. And Nebuchadnezzar was furious. He brought the three men before him and gave them one more chance. He said, "Is it true that you don't serve my gods or worship the image of gold I have set up? I'll give you one more chance. When you hear the music, bow down. If you do not worship, you will be thrown immediately into a blazing furnace." Then he said something that tells you exactly how confident he was, and what God will be able to rescue you from my hand. He wasn't just asking them to bow, he was challenging God directly. And this is where Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego say something that stops the entire room cold. They tell the king, "We don't need to defend ourselves before you. The God we serve is able to deliver us from the blazing furnace, and will deliver us from your hand." Then they said something even more remarkable. "But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your God or worship the image of gold you have set up." Read that again. Even if God doesn't save us, we're still not bowing. That is not desperation. That is not blind hope. That is the most unshakable conviction you will ever read in any ancient text. Nebuchadnezzar, lost it. Scripture says his attitude toward them changed completely. His face was distorted with rage. He ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual. 7 times. He commanded the strongest soldiers in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them in. The furnace was so hot that the soldiers who threw them in were killed by the flames. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego fell into the fire, fully bound. And then Nebuchadnezzar leapt to his feet in amazement. He turned to his advisors and said, "Weren't there 3 men we tied up and threw into the fire?" They said, "Yes, your majesty, 3. He said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods." He walked to the furnace door and called out, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the servants of the Most High God, now come out." And they walked out. In front of every official, every governor, every leader in the kingdom, they walked out of that furnace. And Scripture records something remarkable about that moment. Their hair was not singed, their robes were not scorched. There was no smell of fire on them, not even the smell of smoke. Here's what I want you to sit with. These 3 men didn't know for certain that God was going to save them. They said it themselves, even if he doesn't. They weren't standing firm because they had a guarantee. They were standing firm because of who they believed God to be, regardless of the outcome. Whatever furnace you're walking through right now, whatever situation feels like the heat has been turned up 7 times, whatever pressure you're under to bow down, give in, go along with everyone else. This story has been told for thousands of years for a reason. Sometimes God walks into the fire with you and sometimes you come out the other side without even the smell of smoke. That's the holy lowdown on Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. If this hit different, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Drop a comment below. What furnace are you walking through right now? We'll see you next time.